I'm down here across the Florida line at Lynn's place. She's my Hives for Heroes mentee. She has the Florida Bee Inspector here. How are her bees doing? Let's walk over there and find out. June 14th, we've got Jeff here. Jeff's helping out with the inspection here today.
Oh, they're killing me, they're killing me. Oh.
It looks like some killer bees here, doesn't it? Flying all around there. How are they looking so far, Jeff?
This one's in real good shape. Her first hive over there's got a couple of queen cells in it. The old queen had failed. There's no brood left in it, but she's got a couple of capped queen cells, so she's going to check that in about 3 weeks, make sure that she hatched. But this girl's doing great.
All right. Good deal. I think Lynn's doing a pretty good job so far, from what I can tell.
Pretty nice. Oh, look at that. That is nice. That's a good population.
Lynn, was this the swarm we caught that day, or was it that other one over there? Yeah, okay. She had a swarm hanging out over in one of those trees over there.
It was my hive.
Yeah.
The swarm was. But...
yeah. I came down and helped her catch him and got him in this box. And it's June 14th, so we're about at the end of the flow, aren't we, Jeff?
Oh yeah, flow's just about over. This little pusley guy here, got a little bit of Spanish noodle going around. This is a solid box of honey. When are you going to extract? I pull this and extract it. Leave them one box that's full of pretty much brood. And leave them at least one shallow that's wall to wall with honey. That way you got about 2 gallons of honey here. They got a little bit of forage, but not a lot. And if you'll extract before your forage is over with, they're a lot easier to get out of the hive, and they're a lot less stinky. I'm not even going to try to pull that thing off because that weighs about 60 pounds right there. And you can look at it right here. See how fat that is?
I've seen it.
It is wall to wall with honey. When you get these pulled, I'd go ahead and do a mite treatment. You say, but they look so healthy. And you want to keep them that way. This time of year, they've foraged in every direction all spring. They've raised brood all spring, which means they've probably picked up some varroa. I tell everybody 2 times a year, regardless, December and June, treat your bees. And the reason is, in December, if you go ahead and treat for varroa and get the varroa out of them, when they start to brood up in January, February, and March, they're raising bees, not mites. And then this time of year, they've foraged in so many different directions, they've had a good chance to encounter and bring mites back to the hive. And they've raised so much brood over the past 3 or 4 months that if they have picked up any, they've raised a good population. So it'd be a really good idea when you get this honey pulled off, put your varroa mite treatment on. And look at this girl. Is this not magnificent?
Because they kept going up.
That's what bees are supposed to do.
Oh, really?
It's been an excellent spring.
Yeah, we got
some of the finest bees this year I've seen in probably 5 or 6 years.
Now, I think I've tried to put the honey box on top.
You want me to lift this down?
Yeah, can you get it down? It's going to be kind of heavy. May make you grunt a little bit. Here you go.
You got these queens from Zach Heinzelman in Hawaii. And
they've started on that. Look at that. See that fresh stuff in there? Okay, let's go. Pop this one and we'll get down to the excluder. Let's see what she's doing down bottom here. But yeah, they've done very well. Okay, let's see if we can find a little brood now. Oh yeah. Look at that.
man,
Pretty nice. Yeah, let me get the sun around where you can see it on the sunshine.
Oh, nice.
Can you see that?
I like you, ladies.
She's laying a good pattern. See where she's filling in the spots there where they've hatched. And this side, look at the fresh stuff on this. See all that fresh white larvae in there?
Oh, yeah,
nice and pearly.
larvae, milk brood, everything in their eggs.
See how nice and pearly that looks?
Oh, yeah.
If you see a yellow or brown, that can mean your queen's got a little infection. But that is gorgeous. And she's hitting pretty much every cell. Look at this next frame. Let's pull it out. It's even better than this one. Look at that. But you are getting some mites. Let me show you right here. See if I can get the sunlight on this. Yep. These are bees that they were almost ready to hatch. About 3 days before hatching, they were already turned to pupa, had little purple eyes, but they died. So now they're popping that cell open and pull them out. 2 things can cause that. One is virus, the other is varroa. Usually you have a combination. If the mites are there, you start to have the virus showing up more and more. But see those right there? That's a fully developed bee. You can see his purple eyes. He's laying on his back there. See, there's 3 or 4 there. There's 4 or 5 here. If you see more than 5 or 6 cells of that, it's time to treat for mites.
Okay.
It's definitely time to treat this one. But get this honey off and go ahead and throw a treatment to it. Population looks really good. The adult bees themselves, I don't see any stumpy wings. I don't see any stubby tails. They look pretty healthy. But you're going to start hatching some bees off that aren't that healthy. They're going to be a little bit deformed. You can pull these for sure And you might want to leave this one just so they've got a little bit of a pantry, because they haven't filled this up completely yet. And the honeys they're getting this time of year, first part of June or so, the moisture content, if it's tallow and that kind of stuff, the moisture content's a little bit higher. Honey will want to sour on you a little bit. The honey they get in the early spring, be 16-70% moisture. This stuff can be 20-25%. That lower moisture honey, jar it up and it does fine. You get above 17-18%, it can ferment in the jar, and you don't want that. You ready? Yeah. But these two are already sealed up and capped pretty good, so you should be able to pull them. Have good honey. But I'd leave this box on there just as a little bit of a supplement for them.
Jeff, what treatments do you
With
what do you
newer
like to do?
beekeepers, I tell them go ahead and use Apivar, because it's a hit it and forget it. You put the strips in, they stay in there 6 weeks. They're killing mites all day, every day. And if you don't have a super high infestation, it'll clean them up, get them to zero. If you want to use the oxalic, a lot of people are going to that. But the problem with oxalic is when people throw in just treat and then come back a week or two later and treat again, when that mite hatches out on that bee, will feed on that bee for about 5 or 6 days. Then it crawls back in the cell and it'll lay eggs and produce 3 or 4 more females, already mated. It produces a male. So when that bee, like where they open those cells up and those bees were laying there dead, more than likely when they pull that capping back to get to that bee, they probably had 3 or 4 mites scurry out, attach themselves to bees. They'll feed on them 5 or 6 days. Then they're going to crawl back in and lay again. So if you're going to use oxalic, you need to treat them again in about 4 days, and you need to follow a full brood cycle. So I've got one guy that's had a lot of success with it commercially. He does it Monday and Friday, 4 weeks in a row, 8 treatments. He has had superb bees the past 2 years doing that. But if you miss a week, you've hatched off those others. So mathematically, you're losing the battle. So
makes sense,
that's the problem. And see, look at the population here. That is gorgeous. Couldn't ask for better. But like you were saying, a lot of times the Hawaiian bees, they're not so used to fighting the mites. They haven't genetically, through the process of elimination, weaned out some of the weaker bees to take care of the mite. So they're not quite as good at fighting off mites as the carnies and some of the others. If you'll treat that hive though, they're really beautiful right now and they don't have a huge problem. If you'll treat them within the next week or two, you can clean up what mites are there and you'll have a really good hive going in the fall.
Awesome.
And up here, most beekeepers are moving their bees up here right now. They're putting them on the farms because they're getting ready for the cotton later on, the goldenrod at the end of the year, the pusley that's already here. There's some Spanish needles strewn around. There's more forage for them through the summer and fall up here. So this is ideal. This is where you need them for the fall. And if you'll keep them clean, this is really superb for a spring flow for a hive up in this area.
And it's okay to be that high.
She's already pulled. Did you pull a box off, Lynn?
I'd pull these 2 boxes of honey. I'd leave this one. It's only partially pulled, and a lot of that's open, so it's going to be kind of wet, be a little high in moisture. These are pretty well sealed, and I think they'll be fine if you draw them up, and it's really nice looking stuff. The Italians, overall, they'll make more bees. They don't respond to nectar flow. The carnies, they're a mountain bee, so if the nectar flow gets a little slow, they'll slow down on their laying or they'll stop if they're not getting fresh stuff. The Italians will just keep laying, and these have a lot of Italian blood in them. Well, that's really great for making lots of bees and making honey, but it also produces lots of mites because you don't have a break in the brood cycle, so you have to really stay on top of your mite load. These guys obviously have, because she is excellent. What she's done here is magnificent, but she does need to be treated very soon if you're going to keep her looking like this.
That's right.
And you can see there's Spanish needle. It's blooming everywhere. This stuff will bloom till frost, and it's strewn around everywhere. Yeah, the Biden. And
there's one right there working, one right there. Look at that.
It's pusley, or Spanish moss, they call it.
They're working it right there.
It's amazing. If we get rain on this, out in the watermelon fields, this stuff takes over the watermelon fields after they harvest the melon, so it's everywhere right now.
Get out of your sun now.
And we get a little bit of rain on that, it's amazing. They can make quite a bit of honey off that. Enough to keep the numbers up in the hive and build a little bit of surplus.
What do you think the yellow pollen is?
Oh, that's probably the office.
Are they still bringing tallow?
Spanish needle. Tallow's still going a little bit, but there's a few bloom tags on it, but if we don't get some rain, some pretty good rain next few days, it's probably going to be over.
Yeah, I think it's about
I was hoping we'd get some the first of the week because it was putting on new tags, but we didn't. All the rain went south. So these pecan trees right here, the aphids come down through here, and in the next month or so, you can stand under there and it'll be dripping like rain on you. Those aphids suck those leaves, and the juice that comes out of them is sweet, and they work it, and that's honeydew.
Honeydew, yeah.
And there's the zone from about Graceville over to Monticello. It dips down through Quincy. those aphids, they come in different areas, but they follow kind of the chill hours. And that chill hour line and the production line on that golden, on that stuff, is about the same. So you're right here, there's plenty of pecan trees strolling around here. So they'll get some honeybee here in the next month or so to help supplement too.
So what you're saying, Lynn, is you're in a good spot.
Yes, yes. I got a
Perfect
yard
spot.
full of pecan trees.
Summer and fall, you couldn't be in a better place. Spring's usually a little tough, but these guys have proven that you can make a little honey in the spring.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's pretty nice.
Yeah, we got 5 gallons
Pretty nice.
in Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's doing pretty good. I'd keep an eye out for beetles. If you start to see beetles, treat for them. I did not see the first beetle in any of these, and normally I'm seeing beetles quite a bit now. So these guys, being out in the open sun like this helps a lot with that. But you're still going to have a few once the watermelon's sour. The beetles come into those fields, they smell that sour melon, they feed on it, they crawl on the ground, they pupate when they lay their eggs. And about 30 days after the sour melons, you hatch off a crop of beetles.
Oh yeah.
Then they go looking for a beehive. And these beetles, they can fly 5 or 6 miles.
I've heard that.
So they don't have to be next door to you to be a problem.
They can sniff out
So
a beehive too.
in July,
can't
you need to really watch your beetle population. If you see them starting to show up in the hives, get some traps in them. Most people have
How
already
about
had
the
trap for 'em.
tupelo after the spring bloom?
When it's done, it's done.
It's
Tupelo,
done.
you got about 2.5 weeks on it from time it puts on a bud till it blooms, it's done. And that's it, it's over.
Okay,
It's a very short bloom.
so that's
It's not
my
like
spring.
this needle. Spanish needle will bloom until we get frost.
Yes.
So it'll keep on putting, every time we get a little rain, you'll hatch a new bloom off, and it really helps keep the bees built up. And the wild mustard, once they cut into cotton fields, that wild mustard takes over in October. That really helps them out because it gives them some fresh nectar, some fresh pollen. It's not a huge honey flow, but it does provide a lot of nutrition in the pollen and stuff they get from it. So you're in a good area up here. So,
Thank you, dear.
But you're doing good.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keep an eye on this girl. Make sure she comes through. You get a new mother in there.
Y'all come stand by this big hive real quick. Let me get a little video of y'all doing that. For
Yeah,
the
that's
thumbnail.
pretty awesome there. Like I said, for them to do that in Jackson County this time of year.
Y'all look
Pretty
over here
awesome.
and smile. Thanks, Jeff, for letting me film you, man. I think that's going to turn out to be a nice video, and now you're going to be YouTube famous.
Oh God! The last one I had on there, they called me Jimmy, and the next bee inspector over there, his name's Jimmy. I said, so if any trouble pops up, I'll just say, call Jimmy. Call him clearly. So name me Jimmy on there, and that'll do me a big favor.
I got you, man. I sure appreciate you.
Give
Thanks,
him some
man.
trouble.
Thanks for
Thank
inviting me
you
out,
very
man.
much.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all have a good day.
But these girls are in good shape. I'm glad to see them.